Okay, hello everybody, and it is Teemu Lehto and QPR Software here, and we are very happy and eager to start our webinar for today, which is the process mining for process KPI reporting. Okay, so I will start with a short introduction of QPR and a little bit about the KPI reporting, and then let's go to the best practices. So 15 minutes about how process mining helps in KPI reporting and how you can do root cause analysis, how you can get predictions and notifications from process mining. And then after the sort of the best practice session, we'll go into the live demo, and I'm eager to show you from the tool QPR Process Analyzer how to do this in practice. And there's a time reserved for the Q&A session. So during the this webinar, please write the comments and questions into the this GoToWebinar system box, and I will go through those in the after the sort of the demo part. So let's get into the content. So QPR Software, a stock listed company here in Helsinki, Nasdaq, and we focus on process mining. We have more than 1 million licenses sold and more than 2,000 customers. So we do have a lot of process mining projects. Here's a figure 400, and I try to capture the best practices from these projects we have been conducting. And here is just sort of the initial slide, just to throw you one example of what we are going to talk today, which is the KPIs. So KPI is something like a measure that you calculate the value for, so key performance indicator, and then it becomes to be live when you have the KPI and you put the KPI into a chart. So here we see nice examples of charts, and typically like a trend of how the KPI has been, the value has changed over the period of time. But of course, you can have a KPI as a benchmark kind of chart as well. And you can have KPIs inside the process flow chart. So you have KPIs, you put those into the charts, and then you collect many charts and put them together to this dashboard. Like this is an example of an overview dashboard for P2P process. So this is kind of our end goal, and now let's go to check what we had in mind to talk about KPIs. So first of all, I want to start with the KPI, key performance indicator driven improvement cycle, so the so-called Deming cycle, where the idea is that in order to develop your organization, it's essential to plan, do, check, and act. So many companies have been doing these 4 steps for decades. Now the question is, how can process mining help here? So the point is that the key performance indicators, they actually evaluate the success of an organization. So when you ask somebody, how is your organization doing? You can answer with the kind of the just the free form text, or you can say that concerning sales, our sales has been increasing 3%. It's concerning profitability, it has been kind of like this. Concerning on-time deliveries, we are filling our customer demands and expectations in this ratio. So KPIs evaluate the success of the organization, and the reporting is obviously about defining, calculating, and reporting and comparing against the targets. So that's what you do with the KPIs. So now when you take the KPIs into the development, obviously your goal is to find the right KPIs and then see that they are improving. So what do you do here in the planning stage? What you can do with process mining specifically is that you can analyze the process, the whole end-to-end process, order to delivery. You can define the KPIs, what durations, lead times, on-time deliveries, and then you can identify the problems. Which KPIs are the most problematic ones? Where is the most problematic performance at the moment? Then you find the root causes for those problems and then plan the improvement action. So that's what you do in the planning stage, and process mining will give you all this. I'm happy to demonstrate that. Then the next step is to implement the change according to the Deming cycle, try to do something to improve the situation, and then again use process mining to analyze the KPIs, identify what has actually changed in your process, and identify the new set of the root causes after this implementation of some a change, which could be like a robotic process, RPA, or it can be like some learning program, or it can be redesign of a process. So then you use process mining to check, and then based on the check, you standardize the solution, set the KPI targets, and put them to monitor continuously. This is what you can do with process mining. And then also what you can do is to predict the ongoing cases. So once you have identified a KPI where you have problems, on-time delivery, then you can predict, for example, those cases that are likely to fail the on-time delivery. So you will get process mining tied into your whole development improvement cycle of your own business operations. So let's go into the next topic. 3 process mining KPI perspectives. So with process mining and with the QPR process analyzer methodology, we encourage everybody to have these 3 KPIs for each of their business processes. So you should measure from the customer point of view whether the process is delivering what has been promised to the customer. For example, the on-time in full delivery and the invoice is correct. So these are things that matter to the customer of the order to cash process. So you first need to check that the customer satisfaction is there. You are meeting the customer requirements. You will get these from process mining. Then the happy flow. Are we operating and following the agreed process? For example, first time right and lead time. So did we do the correct planning steps for the delivery so that we were able to use the most efficient delivery, or did we have to reschedule, do a lot of rework in order to get the product in time for the customer? So are we repeating? Is there extra work, or is there some long lead times? Something should be done in 7 days. The service level agreement has been agreed internally, but that is not being met. So this is about the internal efficiency point of view. And here, process mining is really the sort of the best available tool to compare the actual processes against your design, against your sort of the intended way of behaving in that process. So you can just compare, find the conformance, how well your process is conformant with your agreed process. So that's the internal efficiency point of view. And then the third one, nowadays very important, is the automation rate, because we want to facilitate the digital transformation and we want to minimize the amount of manual steps. So we want to achieve KPIs like no touch cases, no touch orders, which have been processed to the very end without no manual process steps at all. And there we can calculate the automation rate, how big percentage of the whole process has been automated, and about all the cases and orders. So these 3 measures, KPIs, we encourage to calculate with process mining, and these can all be put to the dashboard of each process. So happy customer, happy flow, and happy automation. And if all of these are true, then you get the process excellence, where sort of the all of the dimensions are correct, and this is a way to increase your profits. And for each process, you will get a simple percentage figure, like 80% of my cases were such where the customer is happy, 60% are the internal efficient cases, and maybe let's say 40% has been automated. And then you can benchmark this figure in your company, inside your company, amongst the departments, company codes, products, salespeople, service level, service people, or with the trend or whatever dimension you want. So this is the KPI perspectives. Now, 3 things why you should use process mining for process KPI reporting instead of the traditional business intelligence. So with process mining, you get KPIs much faster with less effort. Then you get the root cause analysis for free, and you get the case level predictions. So these are the 3 things you will get with process mining. So what do we mean by this? So KPIs faster with less effort. As I will be showing with the traditional BI, you build each KPI separately. It's more or less a project. It may take 1 day, it may take 1 hour, but it may take 1 month, or it may even take 1 year to find a KPI and really be able to calculate that. But anyways, you build them separately. So you will then have 3 or 4 or whatever amount of KPIs in your business, and they have been carefully chosen, but they only give a limited understanding of what is really happening. With process mining, you build a process mining model, which has the information about the case, what has happened in this order to cash case for each order line number separately. And from that model, you will get 1,000 standard KPIs for free. They are already there. So you will have all your process KPIs automatically calculated into the process mining model. So in terms of the time needed, once you build the process mining model, you basically have already what you need. If you have some, or as big companies have their custom KPIs, like what is the ratio of new products against the old products, then you just need to define what is considered new product and what is considered old product, and then you can calculate those with the process mining system as well. So you more or less just define, because the data is already there in the process mining model. So process mining model is the place that has enough data for all of your process KPIs. Okay, and here's an example. So you may have the data warehouse where you manually calculate KPIs with the reporting tools, and the new approach that you create the process analysis model, process mining model, and there you will get the standard process KPIs for free, and then you get the custom KPIs. Custom KPIs, if you need to calculate them, then you can also do that from the process mining model. So you can do all that KPI, process KPI reporting from here. So it's faster, more efficient to get the process KPIs. Now, in addition to getting the KPIs, you will get the root cause analysis. And this is something that you basically don't get with the traditional BI. Because when you build a KPI into the traditional BI, you only have that information. You don't have the information of what else there is in the database, because you just selected the data for that particular KPI, key performance indicator. So if you would like to build a root cause analysis, you would need to extract a lot of extra data and write some very complex algorithms to find possible root causes. But here is the beauty of the process mining. So once you have the process mining model with, let's say, this 1,000 KPIs, when you take one of those KPIs, you will have the 999 KPIs available for root cause analysis. So you can cross-reference all the data in the process mining model and see what is causing this problem in this KPI, what other things may be influencing that. And QPR Process Analyzer has this functionality, so you can right away run the root cause analysis for all of those 1,000 KPIs. And if you design your own custom KPI, you will automatically have a root cause analysis available for those as well. So you will have root cause analysis for all the process KPIs using all the data in the process mining model. And the root cause analysis looks like this. For example, if we think about consider a KPI lead time, and if we see that some of the cases are taking more than 10 weeks to complete, then the root cause analysis shows in a very simple form that the red area are the cases where you have much more than average of those problematic cases. Like in this example, in the region Dallas, you have much more of problematic cases. 50% of the cases are problematic. And then also in this area, you will see the best practice cases. So in the root cause analysis, you will always see the problem areas and the best practice areas for each KPI. So each KPI, you get it for free. Okay, and the other way to see this is that you can see the root cause analysis right in the flowchart itself. So you can just click the return with notification, problem step, and then you see that, okay, if there is a return with notification, then the picking done and customer pickup activities have been done very often. So for example, the customer pickup occurs in 40% of the cases which have been returned, where the average was only 17%. So you find the possible root cause activities from your flowchart, which is a very difficult query to make to your traditional BI system, but on the other hand, which is standard normal query in QPR Process Analyzer. You don't need to do any configuration for this kind of KPIs. Okay, and the number 3. So since the process mining model has the full history of what has happened in the past for each customer order or purchase order or whatever your process is, since we have the full history of what has happened in the past, that history can be used to predict what will happen to any open case. So for each KPI that you have, you can predict whether any particular case will actually meet that KPI or whether it will fail the KPI. And this kind of analysis requires machine learning, and that's integrated into the QPR Process Analyzer. So just by configuring your prediction, you will have the predictive system in place. If you would like to go with the traditional approach, you need to build the predictive capabilities separately, and that requires data science skills, and you need to carefully consider what can influence the KPI behavior. But here you have the full process mining model already, so the algorithms are already in place. Okay, that was the intro part, and now let's jump into the product to see some live demo. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send them into the chat. So here we are running the QPR Process Analyzer product, our process mining product, and let's start with the sort of the normal process discovery. And here we see the process flow chart. So one feature in process mining is that you can always reduce the amount of details. Like you can just say that, okay, this is my process. There's a PO date in the customer side, sales order on our side, and delivery being created. Or you can then add complexity, add more details to see how the process looks like in this setting with more of these event types. And the typical business processes will be pretty complex when you take a lot of details. But in this analysis tool, you can always focus on those details that you think is the appropriate level. Okay, so let's then see something about the KPIs that we see already here. So let's take it like this, for example, and let's look at, there are some KPIs already shown here. So we can see that the process can be drawn with just the normal texts, but what we can show is the amount of the cases going through some particular places, like delivery block being deactivated, net price being changed in 17% of the cases, and invoices being going to the clearing in 72% of the cases. Also, the same information can be shown in the flows itself. So how big percentage of the cases after the sales order has been created, 64% go directly to delivery created, and 4% is here, 11% is here. Then we can show the durations, and durations we can show as the median. So on average, half of the cases will be processed in less than 4 days, 18 hours, and here the average would be 11 days. And you can even weight the average with the case value. So QPR is the tool that also understands a lot about value of those individual cases so that you can give a business-oriented analysis. And you can also see the values here. So this is now showing the average cost of the case. So the cases that go to the deactivated are like 8,100, where the billing block cases over here are like on average a bit cheaper. So you can see this cost information in the event types and also in the flows. So you can see what kind of cases are going where. Okay, this is sort of the first set of the KPIs. You can show the KPIs inside your flowchart. So now what we have over here in this other area, we have the chart component. So we can take into the chart component all kind of pre-built ready-made KPIs, for example, the case duration, how long a particular case is taking, or event durations separately for each event. You can see those trends over here. And actually, to get an understanding of these capabilities, I'm going to show you a little bit about the sort of the end result, where you have already KPI SLA compliance trend over here. You have the volumes, you have lead times, and you put them into the charts and collect them to the dashboards. So all this information is such that comes from the process mining application. And you can, this is the order to cash. I can also show you the purchase to pay, and let's jump into the dashboard over here. So now you see maverick buying, for example, being one of the KPIs. So we see the maverick buying here has been going down. You can also limit this to, let's say, let's only take one area, UK, for example. So we see the maverick buying trend in UK. We can even limit further to the purchasing organizations and to drill down and see the actual behavior in that area. And we can take away these filters. So we see the maverick buying. And if you want to see how the maverick buying is calculated, how to define the formula, as I said, 1,000 KPIs are shipped in the solution. So we just open the settings over here, and we see that the cases with specific case attribute value. So sorry, let me take another example. It was the yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go here, maverick buying rate, and let's see how it's calculated. So there's the okay, this particular one doesn't have it. Sorry. Well, I can, yeah. Well, there is the calculation of the information is always here in the measure definitions. Here we are showing the attribute of the maverick buying, and then in the dimension settings. So from here you can select whatever KPI you want to have, like duration between the events, or the cases where events occur before some other events. So you just select from these drop downs to get the correct KPIs for your needs. So this is the way how to have the KPIs automation rate trends, KPI conformance here, where you are actually doing conformance checking, which is like comparing the actual process behavior with the design model. So here we have the design model, and you compare with the design model to see how big part of the cases are conformant. And now here we see that 40% are not conformant. So then we go to the root cause analysis. This is an example of the root cause analysis, finding the root causes for those. What are the areas where we have most of the cases that fail with this particular conformance check? So we see that this purchasing organization and this company code are some of the areas for not being able to deliver according to the design. I will show this root cause analysis now again with let's say a much more easier setup. Let's go into our process model over here, and let's look at the case duration, and then think about the long-lasting cases. So I select the cases that take more than 24 weeks, and let's put this to be the root cause condition. So now we have the root cause condition here, and we can actually see now this from the flow chart that those cases that take more than 24 weeks, the red color indicates that they are more likely to go to the shopping cart compared to the other ones. So the other ones, the blue ones, are more likely to go to the vendor confirmation. So this is now the way how you can find red and blue event types from the data. For example, the purchase order item changed. If the net price is being changed, it's more likely to take more than 24 weeks. So this is a way to see the root cause analysis from the flow chart, and then you can also see the root cause analysis here from the tool itself. Let's just take the root cause analysis, open here, and we see that now these purchasing organization and the type and company code, these are the areas for the these are some of the root causes for cases taking a long time, and these are the best practice areas where cases take a shorter time. And you can run this for whatever KPI you have, whatever process KPI you have. This was now done for the long duration, but we can also, for example, go here and see that okay, purchase order item is being changed. What might be causing this? So I just click on this, and let's make it a root cause. So now I see that if it's being changed, then there's a high correlation between these two activities. So it's also very likely that it has been created with the shopping cart, because the purchase requisition part, there's no changes. Those cases don't go into the material changed. And then you can see here that what are the purchasing organizations and companies where you are experiencing this challenge. And if you want to limit, we can go over here, and let's, for example, take only the PO company and see that based on the company codes, there are a lot of those changes in Italy and Germany and UK, and practically not at all in US, Latvia, China, Sweden. So this is the root cause analysis, and then the one extra that I wanted to show is the prediction of the long prediction functionality. So let me make a short demo about that as well. So I'm just going into the chart and selecting from the advanced AI analysis the predicted long cases. So now I want to make a prediction. Let's say that for the cases that went to the quality inspection, I will be doing a analysis here. Let's give it a small configuration. Okay, and then so the cases, okay, yep, and let's also take this one. So So now the cases that that go through the quality inspection and then this goods received reversal. So the system is making a prediction that these are the 7 cases that will go late. So okay, currently, so it's predicting that these cases will be running late based on the characteristics of the cases and the path that they have gone through. And this is a configuration. I can configure like what is the information that I'm giving to the prediction system in order to make the prediction. If I give all the attributes, I will get these 15 cases to be included into those that that potentially will run late. So so this is the prediction engine, and the way how to use the engine is that you get the real-time data for process mining. I will be showing how to get that. So the real-time data you get from your ERP systems. So you use the connectors, your existing ERP systems, SAP, Oracle. We will actually have an Oracle webinar in a couple of weeks, Salesforce, Dynamics, and files. And then these are how you build the connection. And then let's say if we get the real time, then just a small picture like specifying that that you have the data system, you extract the data, you transform into process mining format, and you load it. And with QPR Process Analyzer, you have the full possibility to do the real-time extraction, transformation, and loading in a way that you can then give the notifications for the ongoing cases. So you can then let the system to run this prediction for all your cases that have not been completed, and then it can make a prediction that these are the ones where you will most likely fail with your service level agreement or on-time delivery or something like that. And that notification you will then send either as an email message, SMS message, put a report, or start, for example, a robotic process automation, RPA, robot task to mitigate that particular case, notify the right people. So this is how process mining and QPR Process Analyzer can actually help your organization to get the KPIs, understand the root causes, and proactively notify your employees based on the predictions. Okay, this was more or less my my demo part and official part. So get the KPIs, get the root causes, get the case level predictions, and just to, yeah, so we'll have the upcoming webinars, but I see there is plenty of questions, so I will start going through these questions. There will be, you can, if you can of course go there into the website and join into these webinars, and there will be the recording available to you as a participant from this particular webinar. But let me start now with the questions. So the views and dashboards designed for a particular process can be reusable for other different processes within a company. Okay, so when it comes to designing these dashboards, that is definitely indeed the case. So, for example, this is now a dashboard, so you can always go into the dashboard editing environment to add more components into this dashboard, and also to extract the dashboard and then load into a new setting, or just duplicate the dashboard as a starting point. That's what happens in the dashboard level. Okay, and then what we have here is a chart. So you can always open the chart, and it has the chart settings, so you can graphically edit whatever you to configure this based on what information you indeed want to see here. And then you have the possibilities to also get the chart settings into editable form, so you can copy paste this and start a new chart based on these exactly same settings. and that is definitely possible. And of course, the full dashboard reuse is using the individual charts. And then the way how you design the KPIs are readily available there, but you also have the possibility to have these calculated case attributes. So you can have like maverick purchasing. In this particular model, it was created with the KPI, with the calculation expression. So if you create this one, your KPI, then your KPI will be available in the whole process mining model in all the views automatically there. So this is good for your own custom KPIs that are really some of those that are very important for your model, and you want to have them there available for everybody. Yes. Okay. How do you import the data from an ERP system like SAP? Okay. Well, I recommend reading this blog, Real-Time Process Mining with QPR Process Analyzer 2020.1. So basically, what you need to have, you have your SAP R3 or HANA, and then you use the connection type. So for SAP, we have a special build connector for the R3, and then you can use ODBC connector, for example, to S4 HANA, or just web service calls to HANA. And then with SAP, you run the extraction. From the old one, you use the extraction tool. For the new one, you can have like a direct ODBC query interface. But anyways, you either extract the complete data or the incremental data. But for the SAP HANA, you can indeed just use the pass-through interface, so that you get like a in-memory transformation. So with SAP HANA and new modern databases, ERP systems, you can have an in-memory transformation and in-memory loading, which means that you can just specify which information you want to get from SAP, and then the model will be built for you based on that ODBC configuration. If that's what you are doing, then it will be visible here in the data sources level. You will have, these are reading from the data table, but you have the option to read directly from ODBC or using a loading script. So here is where you specify your connection. If you have ODBC here, then you can load directly. And in case you need to do a lot of transformation to put the data into process mining format, then there's a lot of transformation possibilities in QPR Process Analyzer, in the scripting, and in this expression language. So if I show you the expression language area in QPR Process Analyzer Wiki, we have the expression language which is used for KPI calculations, managing the data, and the data integrations and APIs. So this is all available and works very fast. Okay. Then we have a question. How can you measure digital transformation of business processes? Nice question. How can you measure digital transformation? Well, I would start. There is maybe, yes, there's already like some pre-built dashboard. Let's see what we have defined over here. So digital transformation. Well, digital fit rate is one KPI that you can measure, and let's see how to calculate the digital fit rate. So we are calculating here, the dimension is the company codes. So you see that we are looking at per the company code, and then what we see is that we have the cases amount, and then we have the events with specific event attribute value, automation being manual. So here we are calculating how many manual activities there are. And now the digital fit rate is calculated inside the chart by dividing the manual events with the full amount of the events. So here we see the digital fit rate based on how many manual events there were compared to the total amount of events. So the fit rate, yeah. Yes, so how many manual events you had in the full data set, and dividing by how many cases you were doing. So if at one day you get 100 customer orders, how many manual events you do for those 100 customer orders. So if you do a total of 200 manual events, then your digital fit rate is 2. So 200 events, manual events divided by the 100 cases. So this is one way to see the digital fit rate. Then another example would be the value adding event rate. How many value adding events you have? And there we could go into the definition of this one and see that that we are just getting events that are of particular event type, goods received and net price deactivated. So these we kind of whatever we consider as the value adding events. And then another answer to the question of how to measure the digital transformation, I would also go into the presets where we have for the digital transformation, we have ready-made presets that can be applied to any process model. So we have the digital fit rate as a trend, showing what we just discussed. So the digital fit rate is now here somewhere around 2, between 1 and 2, and then we can have the digital fit rate per the auto attribute, like seeing that comparing benchmarking between the areas, business areas here, or company codes. We see the automation rate is a bit different. So the automation rate definition here would be based on events with specific event attribute value, and the automatic and bot events have been considered to be automation events. So there are examples. Global process conformance is typically important for the digital transformation. There are the rework, impact, repetition, and then there are the various kind of complexity measures. So we are happy to go through those in more detail, but that was just on one eye, giving some ideas for how to measure the digital transformation. Okay, I think we have used the time. So it was 45 minutes. I really enjoyed myself being here and with good questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact us, QPR, and we are happy to serve you and have maybe a one-to-one meeting to discuss with you any particular KPI you have in mind. We would be very happy to show you how to create that with process mining. So whatever your business KPI is, just give us a call and let's have a live session where we can demonstrate how to calculate that kind of KPIs. And then the next webinars in QPR will be for banking transformation together with our partner, and then we have the solution for the Oracle NetSuite. Those two coming still here in December. Thank you very much for joining, and see you next time. Bye-bye.